Today's news highlights 20250908. Date September 8, 2025. Republic of China September 8, 114. Time cutoff point, 1500 hours on the same day. News highlights Ginkgo biloba, commonly known as ginkgo, is commonly found in Chinese cuisine, but traditional Chinese medicine reminds that it should not be eaten at will. Ginkgo biloba is rich in flavonoids and terpenes, which can improve peripheral blood circulation, antioxidant and enhance blood flow to the brain. Ginkgo biloba can astringent lung qi, relieve asthma and improve frequent urination, but it needs to be shelled, peeled and cooked thoroughly, not more than ONCE10 capsules, otherwise poisoning may occur. Both ginkgo biloba leaves and fruits are toxic, so it is recommended to follow the doctor's instructions for ingestion. It should not be used by pregnant women, fava bean disease, coagulation abnormalities, or preoperative patients. News highlights the U.S. House of Representatives released a report on the CCP Select Committee stating that in the past decade, the CCP has indirectly obtained billions of dollars in U.S. Department of Defense funding through cooperation between Chinese and American universities, involving sensitive research such as hypersonics, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence. The survey found that more than half of the more than 1,400 collaborative papers between 2023 and 2025 were related to the CCP's military entities, with a total amount of more than $2.5 billion. The report criticizes the Department of Defense for lax regulation, failure to effectively restrict the participation of blacklisted agencies, and lack of follow-up review. The committee recommended ending cooperation with the Chinese military and related research institutions to prevent the use of U.S. technology. News highlights a Dutch study published in JAMA Neurology analyzed the brains of 95 centenarians and found that even with the accumulation of amyloid protein associated with Alzheimer's disease, some people still maintain good cognition, subverting traditional cognition. Studies have shown that about 56% of people have only a small amount of amyloid protein in their brains, and 9% do not have it at all, but there are still 35% of the accumulated amount that is comparable to that of patients. The key lies in the degree of tau protein lesions. Although the 5 superhumans have high amounts of amyloid proteins, they maintain clear thinking due to the small number of tau lesions. Experts point out that the brain can delay degeneration through 2 mechanisms, resistance or resilience, which may help customize dementia prevention and treatment in the future. News highlights U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, raided South Korea's Hyundai Motor and LG New Energy joint venture battery plant in Georgia on September 4, using helicopters and armored vehicles to arrest 475 workers, more than 300 of whom were South Korean citizens, becoming one of the largest workplace enforcement operations in U.S. history. The investigation alleges that some workers illegally crossed the border or worked in the United States on tourist visas, violating regulations. President Trump said ICE was just performing its duties. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded urgently, emphasizing that they would do their best to protect citizens. The incident caused tensions between the United States and South Korea, and also plunged Kia's largest economic development plan into turmoil. News highlights symptoms include skin rashes, bumps, itching, and burning, commonly known as rubella. Common triggers include food, seafood, nuts, milk, eggs, etc., medications, dust mite pollen, hot and cold changes, stress, or infection. Acute usually resolves within a few hours, but if it is chronic for more than 6 weeks, it is mostly related to autoimmunity. Itching relief can be applied with ice, rinsed with cold water, or used peppermint and antihistamine ointments, and in severe cases, oral medication is required. Avoid lamb, nuts, spicy and processed products in your diet, and supplement more vitamin C and moisture. If it is combined with edema and difficulty breathing, you must seek medical attention immediately. News highlights the hot summer is the peak season for dragon fruit, and 2 types of red and white flesh are common. Nutritionists pointed out that white dragon fruit has a high dietary fiber content, which can help promote gastrointestinal peristalsis and bowel movements, making it suitable for people with constipation. Red-fleshed dragon fruit is rich in betalain, which has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, and is beneficial for beauty care. It is recommended to retain part of the inner pink peel when peeling to retain more nutrients. Due to the high sugar content of dragon fruit, it should be consumed in moderation, especially for diabetics. In addition, red-fleshed dragon fruit may make urine or feces appear pink, which is normal and should not be overly concerned. News highlights traditional Chinese medicine emphasizes that qi and blood follow the meridians, and the flow of different organs according to the 12 hours, and the recuperation can be carried out according to the time. At midnight, 23 o'clock 1 o'clock, the gallbladder meridian and the ugly time, 1 to 3 o'clock, liver meridian, it is advisable to sleep soundly to help detoxify. At yin, 3 to 5 o'clock, the lung meridian is easy to cough and needs to be warm. At the hour of the rabbit, 5 to 7 o'clock, the large intestine meridian is suitable for bowel movements. At the hour of the hour, 7 to 9 o'clock, the stomach meridian can be eaten. At the hour of SI, 9 to 11 o'clock, spleen meridian, it is advisable to pet the calves. To help circulation, at noon, 11 to 13 o'clock, heart meridian, suitable for massage and nourishment, at noon, 13 to 15 o'clock, the small intestine meridian, drink more water to help detoxify, Shen time, 15 to 17 o'clock, bladder meridian, kinpat the lumbar spine, at the hour of the rooster, 17 to 19 o'clock, kidney meridian, grab the ground with your feet to stimulate the acupuncture points, at the hour of the dog, 19 to 21 o'clock, pericardial meridian, you can drink lotus seed heart tea after dinner. At the hour of high, 21 to 23 o'clock, the Sanjiao meridian should be lightly hit to help reconcile. News highlights: new cars under 2,000 cubic centimeters can enjoy a tax reduction of 5 yuan, and an additional 5 yuan subsidy will be added to replace old cars over 10 years old, driving a wave of car appreciation on the first weekend of the folk month in July of the lunar calendar. Hitai, Yulon, Sanyang and other car manufacturers have launched zero interest rates and increased car purchase discounts. Toyota Corolla Cross can be started in installments of 70 yuan, Nissan Sentra starting price has dropped to 63.8 yuan, and MG has a subsidy of up to 10 yuan for all models. News highlights: foreign Macquarie Securities is optimistic about the prospects of Honhai, 2,317, and raised the 12-month target price from 205 yuan to 300 yuan, an increase of nearly 50%. The report pointed out that Honha's alliance with TICO and Japan's SoftBank will increase participation in the US Stargate sovereign AI project, and is estimated to win $350 billion in investment under the best-case scenario. Honhai provides the advantages of modular data center and AI server integration, and the performance from 2026 to 2027 will benefit, with August revenue in line with expectations and shipments and revenue expected to continue to grow in the fourth quarter. News highlights: Apple's new iPhone 17 series will be released on the 9th, US time, and is expected to launch 4 models, iPhone 17, 17 Air, 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max, of which the iPhone 17 Air will be the thinnest and lightest iPhone in history. The price of the new phone has almost frozen, and the new color of Vitality Orange attracts young people, and a US poll shows that nearly 70% of users are interested in replacing their phones. The expiration of Taiwan's 3-year replacement contract has also boosted buying. Legal persons are optimistic that supply chains such as Honhai, TSMC, and Largan will benefit and become the focus of technology stocks at the end of the year. News highlights: as of the end of June this year, according to statistics from the Comptroller General's office, the hidden liabilities of labor insurance soared to more than 13.5 trillion yuan, an increase of 1.7 trillion yuan from last year, and the total hidden liabilities of governments at all levels exceeded 20 trillion yuan, a new high. With the aging and declining birth rate, the number of pensioners has increased, and financial pressure has increased. Hidden liabilities refer to the government's future payment responsibilities, and although they are not included in public debt, their increase is still a warning sign of long-term burdens. Labor insurance, national pension, and military and public education pensions all show high unset amounts, indicating that the government still needs to prepare a budget to support them in the future, and the burden on the next generation will increase. News highlights: former President Tsai Ing-wen's National Aircraft and National Manufacturing Policy has completed the research and development of the Yanjing Higher Education Aircraft, but the Institute of Aviation of the Chinese Academy of Sciences in charge has recently faced organizational consolidation and personnel reduction, causing internal layoffs and the loss of senior R&D personnel. The original Angel project at the hospital level was downgraded to the institute level, and the budget and R&D scale were reduced, limiting the research and development of the next generation of initial training aircraft and fighter jets. The Chinese Academy of Sciences emphasized that the Institute of Aviation has not laid off employees, continues to recruit manpower, and adjusts the organization in line with national defense missions, promotes independent research and development of unmanned vehicles and national defense, and strengthens cooperation with domestic and foreign manufacturers. News highlights: Internet celebrity Four-Pronged Cat recently questioned the People's Party chairman Huang Qiuqing's false property declaration, pointing out that he suspected that there was an American Mercedes SUV under his name that had not been declared, and the Huang camp responded with malicious revelations. Ling Media compiled the property declarations of potential candidates for mayor of the 6 cities and found that Huang Qiuqing had 23 real estate and cash of 153 yuan, but the mortgage was as high as 1,342 yuan. Li Sichuan and his wife hold 21 real estate deposits of 2,221 yuan and multiple foreign currencies and funds, with liabilities of 2,054 yuan. Lin Shufen's total assets are up to 1,071 yuan. Hong Menkai, Lu Heron, So Kaihuai, etc. also have their own land, buildings, deposits and mortgages, highlighting the differences in property declaration and supervision blind spots of politicians. News highlights: this year, Taiwan's industrial real estate market has shown a retreat and advance boom, with a total of 93.8 billion yuan in commercial real estate transactions for listed legal persons in the first 8 months, of which industrial real estate accounted for more than 60% of 56.2 billion yuan. Established manufacturing companies such as AUO, HTC, and Taifeng Tire sell idle factories to recover funds and invest in research and development, upgrading, or in response to tariff pressure. At the same time, well-funded medium and large enterprises such as Delta are actively acquiring and deploying industrial real estate, and Delta's acquisition of Taifeng Guanyin factory for 69.5 billion yuan in July marked the largest transaction of the year. Experts pointed out that this reflects the trend of industrial transformation and asset revitalization, and factories are no longer just production sites, but have become a key bargaining chip for enterprises to flexibly allocate funds and layout. News highlights: Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced his resignation as Prime Minister on the evening of September 7. He said that after completing the signing of the US-Japan Tariff Memorandum of Understanding and the issuance of the US Presidential Order, he has completed the phased task and believes that the right time has come and decided to give way to his successor. Ishiba emphasized that he has never been attached to the status of the stack and will continue to fulfill his responsibilities at this stage, and thanked the Liberal Democratic Party, the Komeito Party and the people for their support. News highlights: Taiwan's central bank recently implemented real estate concentration control to prevent financial risks, but it contradicts the demand for urban renewal. In Taiwan, 72% of the houses are over 30 years old, and there are more than 101 houses over 50 years old. However, concentration control restricts public welfare and speculative development together, limiting funding for large-scale renewal projects and delaying progress, hindering urban safety and economic vitality. Experts suggest establishing urban financing exemptions, risk grading management, policy-based financial instruments and joint lending mechanisms, and distinguishing between low-risk public welfare cases and high-risk speculative cases to balance financial stability and urban development, ensuring residential safety and industrial transformation. News highlights: Tesla founder Elon Musk opened the Tesla restaurant that combines a restaurant, a supercharging station and an open-air theater. However, after only 2 weeks, the operation was chaotic, the menu shrank, service was limited, non-car owners had to queue for a long time and people and neighbors complained about noise and traffic jams. In addition, Musk's recent political adventure failure, Tesla's stock price plummeted, and facing competition from China's low-priced electric vehicles, his brand image and business layout have been frustrated, and the outside world is full of doubts about whether he can return to the top. News highlights: Taiwan's per capita GDP is expected to exceed $4 next year, rising from $3 in just 5 years. Experts pointed out that the main reason is that the appreciation of the Taiwan dollar and the decline in population have raised the number, while real economic growth is limited. Moreover, the high-tech and semiconductor industries have boosted GDP, but the wages of the service industry are sluggish, resulting in an M-shaped income distribution. In order to narrow the gap, it is recommended to promote industrial diversification, cross-domain transformation of the service industry, and the introduction of funds into areas with social benefits, such as the long-term care industry, to create fair income and employment opportunities. News highlights: after Wei Yiquan's repeated food safety turmoil, it was still boycotted by some consumers, but last night Chinese professional star Lin Zhizheng retired and became the coach of Wei Yiquan Dragon. Wang Hao, a former member of the Democratic Progressive Party, said that he chose to forgive Wei Yiquan because he saw Wei Yiquan establish a safety laboratory, no longer violate the law, support small farmers and baseball grassroots, and provide coaching opportunities for Lin Zhizheng, and was willing to continue to use its products, and hoped that the company could become a force for Taiwan's progress. News highlights: Uniqlo's underwear comes with a plastic hanger that can be taken away for free, becoming a practical accessory hotly discussed by netizens. A female netizen shared that the clerk not only asked if she wanted to take it away, but also thoughtfully taught her how to use it, and found that the hanging underwear was just the right size and easy to store. Other netizens also appreciated this small thought, believing that the thoughtful design enhances the shopping experience, and some even said that there are many hangers and they are practical, and buying underwear with racks has become a daily storage tool. News highlights: Sanli Vice President Gong Meifu announced his resignation and apologized for his son Gong Yiting's inappropriate words and deeds, but the statement did not mention the whistleblower Zhang Zuping, which aroused social concern. Internet celebrity imposters criticized that it was ridiculous for Gong Yiting not to come forward and to apologize on his father's behalf, and the son's use of money to measure feelings highlights his lack of character. The incident reflects the prevailing privileged mentality in society that if you have a family background, you can go sideways, which makes people mistakenly think that they will never be responsible for making mistakes, and that it is the person concerned who is really humiliated. News highlights: former Taipei mayor and former chairman of the People's Party Kei Wenz has been detained since January this year for his involvement in the Jinghua City corruption case, and the Northern People's Court ruled last Friday to post bail of 70 million yuan and restrict housing and technology monitoring. Kei Chu did not immediately agree to apply for bail, but after another legal meeting with the lawyers, he agreed to post bail, and his wife Chen Paiki was responsible for paying the bail and follow-up procedures. News highlights: Ou Hansheng remarried last year and welcomed his youngest daughter Ou Xiaomei, and recently held a catch party for her, and his mysterious wife appeared next to him for the first time. The event was warm, and the three mothers gathered, including Ou Hanchen's mother, godmother Chen Maifeng and mother-in-law, Master Hu Guo Ding Rowan and his wife, and the immortal male god Lin Zhiying were also present to witness. Chen Maifeng shared pink and warm photos on the community, praising the cute children and the happy family. News highlights: the third force cockroach, a common American cockroach in Taiwan, was originally only found in western Japan, but has now spread to the downtown restaurant building. This cockroach has a white ring pattern on its back, which can reproduce parthenetically and spread rapidly. Climate warming and warm dishwashers in restaurants have fueled reproduction, and the effects of traditional poisonous baits and new ingredients fluorodiene are limited. The operator switched to long-lasting residual spray, and hundreds of cockroaches could be seen dying suddenly in the early morning. Experts warn that it may invade residential areas in the future and become a new problem for the city. News highlights: Nantong police found that precious giant trees in Taiwan's mountains and forests had been stolen, and mountain rats combined with Vietnamese escaped migrant workers to cut and transport trees such as red cypress, and xionan down the mountain to sell them for profit. Vietnamese migrant workers are familiar with jungle tactics and create their own mountain trails to avoid pursuit, increasing the difficulty of investigation. The illegal logging has changed from the early dead wood remnants to the direct cutting of thousand-year-old giant trees, causing ecological damage to the forest. The prosecutor pointed out that the number of missing migrant workers is as high as 9.4, including more than 6 Vietnamese. News highlights: Kaohsiung Ocean Hospital recreates the drama of family infighting. Ruan Lanting, the second daughter of the Ruan family, accused her cousin Ruan Xinhuan of embezzling public funds and instigating the man in black to seize the right to operate the hospital. Ruan Xinhuan countered that her father was the sole proprietor of the hospital, and her cousin was only the nominal person in charge, and only found someone to return to the hospital to seize power after being dismissed from her position in March this year. More than 20 people who broke into the hospital in early August were arrested by the police, and the family's dispute over property and management rights continued to spread, attracting social attention. News highlights: in order to pay off his debts, Peng Cha went to the mainland to live broadcast goods, and recently sold sweet potatoes in the sweet potato field under the scorching sun, broadcasting live for about 2 hours every morning and evening. In the past, he also sold a variety of commodities such as eggs and agricultural specialties live, just to attract viewers to place orders and speed up debt repayment. Due to the failure of the filming investment and the debt of hundreds of millions of yuan, he relied on hosting, commercial performances, speeches and live broadcasts to run around, and he had no star shelf at all. His apprentice Su Xiaoshun also flew to Xiamen to broadcast live with him on the same stage to resolve rumors of a master-apprentice relationship. News highlights: Yang Yuning released a photo with his father on his 43rd birthday, but the location was actually a hospital ward. Yang's father's physical condition has deteriorated rapidly since June this year, from kidney inflammation and urethral stones to abdominal distension and edema, and then malignant tumors were found, and there were chest and abdominal metastases. The original planned reopening of the Yuanguo 4.0 restaurant, the location of the store was originally Luo's Hixiang's Chow store, but the decoration progress was stalled due to his father's serious illness, and the old decoration outside the door was piled up, and construction had not yet begun, which greatly affected the restaurant's opening plan. News highlights: former Taipei mayor and former chairman of the People's Party Kei Wenz was detained for 1 year for the Jinghua City case, and the Northern People's Court ruled on the 5th to post bail of 7,000 yuan, restricting his residence and leaving the country for 8 months and implementing electronic monitoring. Kei Wenz initially said that he needs to think deeply, but after discussing with the legal team today, 8th, he finally agreed to post bail, and his wife Chen Paiki was responsible for the bail procedures. People's Party supporters gathered outside the North Office, ready to welcome Kei Wenz home. News highlights: internet celebrity curator Chen Haihan was reported by former DPP lawmaker Wang Hao for violating the election and recall law for broadcasting public poll data live before the 726th recall, and may face a fine of up to 1 million yuan. The curator said yesterday, 7th, that the case had been handed over to a lawyer, and criticized the DPP as Taiwan's cancer, shouting that when I make money, it will be the end of the DPP. He revealed that he will raise funds to operate online media, establish an association to promote cross-strait exchanges, and is expected to spend 8 years to promote Taiwanese people to recognize Chinese identity, and called on supporters to go to welcome Kei Wenz home on bail today, and 200 drinks will be distributed on the spot. News highlights: Douyin in mainland China has risen to the trend of group live broadcast, among which the car song has become popular. The girl group anchor sings the audience's name in an exaggerated voice, and interacts with regular gestures to form a brainwashing effect. Taiwanese netizens took the opportunity to enter the names of politicians, and even Xi Jinping was spoofed by entering the song, causing the live broadcast scene to deviate. After the song was created and edited, the traffic detonated again, and there was even a static screen operation that allowed the anchor to shout specific words and phrases in homophony, triggering a boom in alternative interaction among netizens on both sides of the strait. News highlights: a wild black bear in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada, became popular after repeatedly breaking into the picnic area to steal food from tourists, and although it did not cause casualties, it was believed by conservation officials that it had completely lost its vigilance against humans and was difficult to coexist with the community. The incident caused dissatisfaction among residents and called on the government to strengthen wildlife protection. The video showing the process of a black bear taking food has garnered millions of views on social media, attracting widespread attention and discussion. News highlights local actress Goddess of Wealth Wang Yuxin has a net worth of 1 billion, but suddenly announced the end of her 12-year marriage with Wang Chensu, and was willing to leave the house and give up all 30 properties under her name, domineeringly saying that money will be made again. After the divorce, she not only suffered emotional damage, but also suffered a heavy setback in her career, losing 100 million yuan in investment losses, and her fortune fell into a low ebb. News highlights artist Yang Yuning's father was diagnosed with cancer, and the cancer cells had metastasized, making treatment difficult. After Yang's father returned to Taiwan in June, he developed urethral stones and kidney inflammation, thinking it was a minor illness, but after being discharged from the hospital, his abdomen was severely swollen, and he was readmitted to the hospital and diagnosed with cancer. Yang Yuning helped his father prepare for a new restaurant last year, but encountered this change before the opening. On his 43rd birthday, he posted a group photo of the ward on IG and encouraged his father to have hope and face the future together. News highlights 8 o'clock actress Zhang Zuping accused of being sexually assaulted by Gong Yiding, the son of Sanli Vice President Gong Maifu, and Gong Yiding said that the two only broke up at the end of August. The incident caused a shock in the entertainment industry, with many artists supporting Zhang Zuping, while others chose to remain silent. Wu Zongxian responded for the first time yesterday, saying, "I hope to clarify it soon." Zhang Zuping decided to entrust a lawyer to handle the follow-up, hoping that the judiciary would restore the truth. Gong Maifu resigned as vice president of Sanli and publicly apologized. News highlights Taiwan's first high-speed rail disaster action movie 96 Minutes starring Lin Boong and Song Yun-hua continues to rise in popularity, and netizens have recently discussed that its length is actually 118 minutes, not the 96 minutes indicated in the title. Producer Zhou Zhihong explained that the title of the film is taken from the direct train time from Taipei to Zhouying on the high-speed rail, and the actual movie needs to be more laid out, so the time is longer. Some viewers mistakenly thought that the film was only 96 minutes long, and they were afraid to leave the scene while watching the movie, which sparked interesting discussions. News highlights the well-known Korean game YouTuber Day Library, Luo Dongsuan, was found dead at home yesterday morning at the age of 46, shocking netizens and fans. The police preliminarily ruled out homicide, speculating that it was related to a hidden disease, and the cause of death will be clarified through autopsy. He once revealed in a live broadcast that his heart was tingling and suspected of having a myocardial infarction. Na Donghyun has 145 subscribers and is known as the first generation of Korean internet celebrities, and he still maintains a friendly relationship with YouTuber wife Yum Daeng after divorcing in 2023. News highlights Zhang Zuping accused her 25-year-old ex-boyfriend Gong Yiding of sexual assault, saying that he was in a coma after accidentally taking a tranquilizer and was taken intimate images. Gong Yiding denied it and said that the two only broke up at the end of August, and the incident was purely an emotional dispute. Gong Yiding's father, Sanli Vice President Gong Maifu, announced his resignation today, apologized to the company and society, and said that he had entrusted a lawyer to handle it, and the whole case was handed over to the judiciary to clarify the truth. News highlights the numerologist pointed out that this week, 9/7/13, the zodiac rabbit, snake, horse, rooster, and dog fortune will be prosperous, and the workplace, noble people, and financial luck will perform well. Rabbit nobles have strong luck and are conducive to cooperation and negotiations, the snake is appreciated by the boss, and the career heats up. The horse's fortune is gradually opening, and investment should be cautious. The rooster's fortune has turned around, suitable for starting a business or changing jobs. The dog business is about to take a turn, seize the opportunity. Other zodiac signs are mostly guarded, especially sheep need to be cautious to avoid borrowing or guarantees. News highlights the Taipei District Court heard the Jinghua City case and ruled on the 5th that former Taipei Mayor K. Wenz should be released on bail of 7,000 yuan, and his residence and wearing electronic shackles should be restricted. After being explained by his lawyer, K. Wenz agreed that his wife Chen Paiki would be responsible for raising the bail, and Chen Paiki had completed the procedures this morning. The prison van is expected to take K. Wenz to the North Court at 1:30 p.m. to complete the procedure, and then he will give a speech and go to Hsinchu. The police dispatched 80 police officers to maintain order at the scene. The case involved corruption, profiteering and other crimes, and the prosecution sought K. Wenz to be sentenced to 28 years and 6 months in prison. News highlights Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced on the 7th that he would resign as President and Prime Minister of the Liberal Democratic Party because he failed to completely resolve the political donation controversy and would not participate in the interim presidential election. Japanese media speculate that the successor may be Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries Shinjiro Koizumi or former Minister of Economic Security Sani Takaichi. Commentators pointed out that Shigeru Ishiba is regarded as a pro-China faction, and his resignation is beneficial to Taiwan, Sani Takaichi is a staunch supporter of Taiwan. The Liberal Democratic Party will vote as soon as October 4, and the Diet will elect a new Prime Minister on October 7. News highlights: a female patient with suspected endometriosis ate only fish, chicken, eggs and beans for 6 months, avoiding red meat and shelled seafood in order to improve her symptoms, resulting in more severe hair loss. After examination, Chinese medicine practitioner Lo Pei Lam found that her zinc content in her body was insufficient, believing that hair loss was related to nutritional imbalance. She suggested that patients with endometriosis should have a balanced diet, without particularly prohibiting red meat or seafood, and can consume various zinc-rich foods such as meat, seafood, nuts, dairy products, and egg yolks in moderation to maintain the balance and health of the 5 organs. News highlights: nutritionist Liu Maibao found that the blood sugar of the sugar-free soy milk and chicken rice balls healthy meal that many people thought was a convenience store soared from 88 mg/dl to 206 mg/dl. The reason is that rice balls are refined starches, large and quickly digested, and lack protein and fat balance, which can easily cause blood sugar spikes and may harm cardiovascular health in the long run. Nutritionist Yang Ting Ai added that the calories of ordinary rice balls are as high as 670 kilocalories, which is higher than that of braised chicken leg bento, reminding the public to pay attention to the portion size and combination when choosing breakfast to avoid drastic fluctuations in blood sugar. News highlights: as a small country with a population of about 65, Luxembourg topped the list of the richest countries in the world by Global Finance magazine, with a per capita GDP of $143,743, more than twice that of the United Kingdom. From 2010 to 2024, per capita GDP continued to rise. The country is located between Germany, France, and Belgium and is known as a financial center, with more than 155 banks, attracting foreign investors. At the same time, tourism, information technology, logistics, and steel industries are booming, providing a large number of jobs and allowing its economy to grow far beyond its scale. News highlights: a male netizen shared that since January this year, relying on stock dividends and trading income, his monthly income is up to about 3 yuan, and his home is rent-free and the cost of living is low, so he chose to live unemployed, exercising, eating, watching dramas, and sleeping every day, feeling very comfortable. He believes that such happiness comes from character and mentality, not jealous of others, empathetic, and helpful. After the post was exposed, it sparked heated discussions, with some people envious of living without desire, while others were worried about insufficient income, blank resumes, and bear market risks. News highlights: Master Kong's instant noodles, which were once popular on Taiwanese campuses, officially withdrew from the Taiwan market in 2017 due to the food safety turmoil broke out by the parent company Dingxin Group. Founded by the 4 brothers of the Wei family, Master Kong entered China in the 1990s, and once became the hegemon of instant noodles in China with braised beef noodles and bottled tea drinks with a market share of 40% to 50%. However, sales have continued to decline in recent years, with instant noodle revenue decreasing by 2.6% year-on-year in the first half of 2025, and high-priced models falling by 7.2%. The analysis pointed out that the reasons include aging brands, lack of product innovation, food safety concerns, and the rise of delivery and prepared dishes, which have led young consumers to turn to convenient and diverse dietary options. News highlights: after the recall, President Lai Ching-te pointed out in an exclusive interview with the Liberty Times that the economy, people's livelihood, the disadvantaged and the youth are the 4 priorities, which are the aspirations of public opinion and the focus of future governance. He emphasized that the past year or so has been fiercely political, covering up the results of governance, especially after the general recall. Society needs to recuperate, and the executive yuan should focus on solving people's problems. Lai Ching-te mentioned that during his tenure as mayor and chief executive, he prioritized fighting for the economy and promoted 3 major economic policies and investment offsets, and said that Taiwan's GDP and stock market performance were stable, CPI remained low, and the overall economy was good. News highlights today: the Dodgers finally stopped their 5-game losing streak, relying on Shohei Ohtani's single-game double shot and Clayton Kershaw's good pitching to defeat the Orioles 5-2. Ohtani hit his 47th home run of the season in his first at-bat in the first inning, tying the record for home runs in the first inning in team history, and hit his 48th home run in the top of the 3rd inning, completing the 23rd single-game double in his career. After that, he walked in all 3 at-bats, and all 5 hits were on base, with a batting average of 0.279. Kershaw pitched 5.2 innings, allowing 2 runs and soaring 8K, winning his 10th win of the season. This campaign also set a new record for the first time in Major League history in a series of 3 or more games, with at least one Japanese-born starting pitcher on the mound in each game. News highlights: the draft of the U.S. 2025 National Defense Strategy shows that the strategic focus may shift from global confrontation with China and Russia to domestic and Western Hemisphere security, but scholars believe that the defense of Taiwan will not weaken. Taiwan plays a key role in the first island chain and is an important barrier to prevent the projection of Chinese and Russian naval forces into the Western Hemisphere, and the Pentagon may continue to strengthen Taiwan's military power through arms sales and other means. Although the U.S. strategic adjustment increases uncertainty, Taiwan-US defense cooperation will still be maintained to ensure regional security. News highlights: former People's Party chairman Kei Wen's was involved in the Jinghua City case, and the court ruled that 7,000 yuan should be paid on bail with 3 limits and technological monitoring. After the lawyer went through the legal meeting this morning, Kei agreed that his wife Chen Pike would handle the bail procedures. The Taipei District Court sent a medium-sized prison van to escort Kei to the detention center to complete the bail procedures, and is expected to return to the court at 1:30 p.m. to wear electronic ankle bracelets and the case's mobile phone, and complete the technological monitoring device procedure for about 1 hour. The prison van also escorted the other 5 defendants from the morning court. News highlights: a female netizen posted on Card that she studied hard until 10 p.m. every day in high school and did not rest on holidays, but she was only admitted to the private literature group, which raised questions about her learning methods. She was curious about some of her classmates who seemed easy but could get into top universities. Some people believe that innate intelligence and family environment have a great influence, while others emphasize that reading efficiency and methods are more important than simply spending time, believing that focusing on learning for a short time is better than studying ineffectively for a long time. News highlights: southern Taiwanese singer Qilang has become popular since his debut, deeply cultivated the southern show, made friends with Fang Jun, Gao Kun, Chen Xiaoyun and other friends, and was also taken care of by Pig Brother Liang and He Yu Hang. He recalled that Pig Brother Liang was friendly in private and full of effects on stage, and he had performed with Fei Yuking many times, and was deeply impressed by his brother's humorous conversation. Qilang recently released a new album Southern Love, which usually pays attention to health, does not eat spicy food, does not touch extremely cold or hot food, and also clarifies that the previously rumored colorectal cancer examination is only benign polyps. News highlights: the latest research points out that people who have a positive attitude towards their own aging live longer than those who have a negative view. A German research team followed for 15 years and found that people who agree with aging stereotypes and believe that their abilities decline with age have a significantly higher risk of death. Psychologists suggest that even if society has a negative view of the elderly, you should maintain a "I'm not like that" mentality and actively participate in social interactions and activities, which can help maintain physical and mental health and prolong life. News highlights: a 45-year-old mother in Russia, Elizaveta Gush, China, accidentally fell to her death from a platform nearly 90 meters high to take a selfie with her 22-year-old son after completing a bungee jump on the outskirts of St. Petersburg. At the time of the incident, she had taken off her seatbelt and approached the edge of the platform, stepped on the wet wooden board and slipped, and her son witnessed the whole process. It is reported that bungee jumping was a birthday gift from her son, who had just turned 45 the day before. News highlights: Asian superstar Leslie Cheung passed away on April 1, 2003 at the age of 46. 64-year-old Xiang Tai Chen Lan talked about her friends in the live broadcast yesterday and bluntly said that Leslie Cheung has made her feel guilty for 22 years since her death. She revealed that Leslie Cheung called her less than an hour before she ended herself, and she emotionally emphasized that "I am not depressed, nor have I encountered evil," and asked her to help hold a press conference to clarify. Although she agreed, Leslie Cheung still fell from the building immediately. Xiang Tai believes that Leslie Cheung has a strong personality and will not go to extremes easily, and suspects that it is related to supernatural factors. News highlights: according to credit bureaus, 95% of engineers' affair partners can be divided into 7 categories: company colleagues, project partners, people of the opposite sex who meet online, people who meet in gyms or interest clubs, former classmates or old friends, company administrators or assistants, and people who meet in training or seminars. The reasons are mostly related to close daily interactions, emotional dependence, or seeking stimulation. However, netizens believe that these objects and scenarios are applicable to almost all walks of life and are not exclusive cases for engineers. News highlights: a citizen in Zhouying, Kaohsiung bought 2 boxes of peaches imported from Japan as a gift, 11 per box for a total of 15,600 yuan, and took out 2 to try and cut them to rot. Netizens pointed out that the quality of the fruit at this price did not meet expectations, and the store responded that peaches are sometimes difficult to judge from the appearance inside, and are willing to provide refunds or exchange compensation, and emphasized that they will strengthen shipment inspections. The Ministry of Agriculture reminds that when choosing peaches, you should pay attention to the stem, fruit shape, and fruity aroma to avoid blackheads or crushing the fruit. News highlights: President Lai Ching-te announced the amendment to the goods tax regulations to increase tax rebates for passenger cars and small motorcycles, aiming to revitalize the auto market and take into account energy conservation and carbon reduction. The new system will be implemented from September 7, 114 to December 31, 119, and small passenger cars can enjoy a tax refund of up to 5 yuan, and small locomotives can enjoy a tax refund of up to 2,000 yuan. If the regulations on replacement and replacement are also met, a single vehicle can receive a total tax refund of up to 10 yuan. The policy takes into account both first-time car buyers and replacement groups, which is expected to stimulate buying and accelerate the elimination of old cars. News highlights: a horrific murder occurred in Nantou City on the evening of the 6th. A 32-year-old woman surnamed Wu had an argument with her 43-year-old boyfriend surnamed Wang. Wu Nu rushed out of the house and lay on Wang Nan's car to try to stop him from leaving, but Wang Nan accelerated his speed, causing Wu Nu to fall and be dragged to death by the vehicle, with a comminuted fracture of her right leg and some clothes stuck under the car. The police checked the surveillance camera and arrested Wang Nan in Taichung within 3 hours, and the evidence at the scene was complete, including the remaining clothes and hair under the car. Wang Nan has been transferred to the Nantou District Prosecutor's Office for investigation and detention on charges of murder and violation of domestic violence prevention and control. News highlights: the Pingtung District Court ruled that in the Xiaoliaoqiu travel accident, male college student Xiaohu became disabled after diving and was backed into the water twice by his classmates, resulting in cervical spinal cord injury and quadriplegia. The court found that Xiaohu's diving was the main cause of injury and bore 70% of the responsibility. The two classmates surnamed Chen are 30% responsible and must jointly and severally compensate Xiaohu for 143 yuan in mental consolation, deducting the 7 yuan previously paid. The BNB is exempt from liability due to warning announcements. The whole case can be appealed. News highlights: physician Zhang Jiaming pointed out that although black fungus is often used as a side dish, it has high nutritional value and is a natural superfood. Black fungus is rich in iron, calcium, and protein, with an iron content of nearly 50 times that of meat and a calcium content of more than 80 times that of meat, which helps supplement iron, prevent anemia, and maintain bone and muscle health. Polysaccharides have immunomodulatory, anti-inflammatory, and anti-tumor potential, and are low in fat and calories, making them suitable for people of all ages. It is recommended to consume it daily, such as black fungus stew, cold salad, or vegetables, to protect your health for a long time. News highlights: former People's Party chairman Cai Wen's was detained for more than 1 year for being involved in the Jinghua City fraud case, and the Taipei District Court ruled on the 5th to post bail of 7,000 yuan, restricting exit, residence, and wearing technology monitoring. Cai Wen's nodded in agreement on the 8th, and his wife Chen Paiqi revealed that he hoped to return to Hsinchu to see his mother. Physician Su Weishuo suggested that Cai's reasons for posting bail include inhumane conditions in the detention center, detention period of up to 39 months, subsequent protests through lawyers against unreasonable conditions, and first to discuss political or dignity issues to reduce the risk of long-term detention, otherwise it may be detained until 2027. News highlights: recently, it was reported that teachers from Heping High School and Baishi in a primary school in Nantou played a video of the CCP's 93rd military parade in the classroom, and even accompanied by the curator's comments. Technology expert Su Maihua criticized this behavior as brainwashing the next generation on the front line of education and ignoring the military threats shown in the military parade video. Nantou primary school teachers were also exposed to frequent broadcasts of CCP military parade videos with simplified Chinese subtitles, and some people have reported to the Ministry of Education, calling for facing up to this problem. News highlights: former People's Party chairman Cai Wen's was detained for about a year in connection with the Jinghua City case, and the Northern People's Court ruled on September 5 to post bail of 7,000 yuan, and restricted from leaving the country, going to sea and residing, and must wear electronic monitoring. After Cai Wen's went through the legal meeting on the morning of September 8, he carefully agreed that his wife Chen Paiqi would handle the bail procedures on his behalf. After the bail is completed, he will depart from the detention center to the North Courtyard to wear surveillance equipment and greet supporters, and then plan to return to Hsinchu to pay respects to his father, and then return to his residence in Taipei to rest. The People's Party called on supporters to pick up Cai Wen's at the Beijing prosecutor's office, but the lawyer reminded that the court is a controlled area for assemblies and parades and must be approved before they can be legally assembled. Whether the Beijing prosecutor's office will appeal is still to be decided, and the outside world is concerned about Cai Wen's follow-up judicial process. News highlights: Shigeru Ishiba, president of the Liberal Democratic Party of Japan, announced his resignation on September 7 and will not participate in the election of the new president, and will perform his duties until the new prime minister is elected. The successor may be the pro-Taiwan faction Sani Takaichi or Shinjiro Koizumi. If elected, Takaichi will become Japan's first female prime minister, advocating strengthening national defense, resisting Chinese infiltration, and being friendly to Taiwan, but the support of factions within the party is limited. Shinjiro Koizumi is young, supported by young people, and has little policy experience. The news of Ishiba's resignation caused market volatility, with Japanese stocks rising slightly and the yen depreciating. The new presidential election of the Liberal Democratic Party will be voted on as soon as October 4, and a new prime minister will be elected in early October. News highlights: after the recall, President Lai Ching-te pointed out in an exclusive interview that the government will reorganize the pace of governance through cabinet reshuffle and the 4 priorities policy strategy, focusing on the economy, people's livelihood, youth, and the disadvantaged. He emphasized that in the face of the challenges of social media and China's misinformation, the chief minister and the cabinet must stand on the front line to defend policies, respond quickly, communicate with others, go deep into the grassroots, and make good use of technology to break through the stratosphere, ensure that the public understands the policy correctly, and gradually promote Taiwan's development. News highlights: the Ministry of Finance estimates that exports in August could reach $510 to $532 billion, with positive growth for 22 consecutive months and an annual growth rate of about 17% to 22%. Semiconductors and information and communication products continue to boost exports due to the AI boom, while production is affected by tariffs and is difficult to improve in the short term. At the same time, the iPhone 17 series will be released on September 10, with the Pro series as the main focus and the Air series opening up the thin and light phone market. Semicon Taiwan 2025 International Semiconductor Exhibition debuted this week, attracting 17 countries to participate, and Taiwan continues to play a central role in the global AI chip supply chain. News highlights: Kenta, an office worker in Japan, accidentally found 3 moldy passbooks when sorting out his belongings after his father's death, totaling about 2,480 yen, about NT $515. My father usually said that he had no money at home, but in fact he silently saved huge assets and was so frugal that he didn't even turn on the air conditioner, and eventually died of heat stroke. This inheritance relieved Kenta's funeral and mother's worries, and also reminded families to talk about money as soon as possible, communicate transparently about assets and estate planning, avoid regrets caused by excessive frugality, and balance money, health, and quality of life. News highlights: Taiwan's commodity tax amendment was announced on September 5, and new passenger cars under 2,000 cubic centimeters can enjoy a 5 yuan tax reduction from September 8, ending the suspension of the auto market. Previously, due to the delay in the deliberation of the legislative yuan, car dealers and consumers were waiting and seeing, and Volkswagen took the opportunity to promote it. After the implementation of the amendment, it is expected that brands will launch full-scale promotions, and the momentum of Taiwan's auto market will pick up. However, the tariff on imported cars has not yet been finalized, and the customs still has about 3 imported cars to be digested, which will still affect the imported car market in the short term. News highlights: during her pregnancy, a woman in Hsinchu discovered that her husband had sex with her best friend, which even led to pregnancy. The angry woman sued her best friend to the court for 50 yuan, and the Hsinchu District Court ruled that her best friend should pay 40 yuan after the trial, and the whole case can still be appealed. News highlights: internet celebrity Ruying recently shared a video of a friend feeding her dog beer on Instagram stories. She not only did not stop it, but also took a video and left a message, which caused netizens to criticize animal cruelty. After the video was deleted, Ruying turned off the message function, but a large number of netizens still condemned it, emphasizing that dogs cannot metabolize alcohol, which may cause vomiting, coma and even death, criticizing her for misbehavior. News highlights: a 42-year-old man surnamed Chen dragged Wu out of his seat because he was dissatisfied with the conversation between an 18-year-old girl surnamed Wu and a 16-year-old girl surnamed Huang next door, and the mobile phone screen was too bright. The police were reported to arrest Chen Nan and sent him to the police for the crime of injury and damage, which aroused social concern about the safety of watching movies and public order. News highlights: Kei Wen's, former chairman of the People's Party, was detained for nearly a year due to the Jinghua City floor area ratio fraud case, and the Northern People's Court ruled that he should pay bail of 7,000 yuan. It is speculated that he may first participate in the 2026 Kaohsiung mayoral election, intending to weaken the DPP's local ruling territory and pave the way for the 2028 presidential election. She emphasized that Kei's goal is to take revenge, bring down the DPP, and impact Lai King, and the DPP needs to respond with prudent governance and administrative means. News highlights: at Wei Quanlong's senior brother Lin Zisheng's retirement game, his 15-year-old daughter Lin Yurong and Xialong Nu performed the opening dance on the same stage, and the picture went viral on the internet. Lin Yurong said through threads that it is a great honor to be able to perform for her father on a big scene, and she also thanked everyone for leaving messages. Whether it is praise or criticism, she will humbly accept it and work hard to improve. She was humorous about being told that she was relying on relationships and showed high EQ. The members of Little Dragon Girl and the dance director also affirmed her performance, praising her for bravely going on stage and showing growth and hard work. News highlights: for the first time in the 45 years since its establishment, Qiaguang has established a chief technology officer, with Deputy General Manager Wu Qiahua as the chief executive, marking the company's shift from two-family CEO governance to Chen Qingqi's father and son at the helm, and actively laying out R&D and product lines. Wu Qiahua, who has a double doctorate and work experience in the United States, will lead far-infrared thermal imaging and robot lens technology, driving the company's gross profit margin to increase. Far-infrared lenses have become a new pillar of profit, with shipments accounting for more than 70%, and this year's revenue is expected to account for more than 50%, and the company's gross profit margin in the second quarter exceeded 15% and turned a loss into a profit, standing in a new stage of transformation and growth. News highlights: the U.S. Federal Court of Appeals ruled that Trump's imposition of reciprocal tariffs and fentanyl tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, was illegal on the grounds that the bill did not authorize the president to impose tariffs and that fiscal power was exclusive to Congress. Trump appealed to the Supreme Court on September 3. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent said that if the Supreme Court rules that the policy oversteps its authority, the government may need to refund tariffs on a large scale, estimated at $750 billion to $1 trillion, causing financial chaos. Even so, Trump can still impose tariffs on semiconductors and other products through the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act and Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962 to safeguard national security. News highlights recently, Taishin Bank has successively frozen accounts that have not been traded or have low balances for a long time due to fraud prevention measures, causing inconvenience to the public. Netizens complained that accounts were locked for no reason and withdrawal and transfer functions were affected, and even investment delivery was affected. Some accounts are judged to be high risk by AI models, but banks do not notify users in advance, causing criticism. Taishin Bank employees said the measures were overkill, while Public Stock Bank employees said they followed anti-fraud regulations. The Financial Supervisory Commission pointed out that the bank should notify users of the freezing account first, unless it is a list of police agencies or the parties cannot be contacted. If the account is related to fraud, the bank must also strictly enforce anti-fraud regulations. News highlights: after Liu Yanggui took over Honhai, he fully focused on the AI server and high-end cabinet business, leading Honhai to lay out on a new track. In the first half of the year, the production of AI servers was limited, and in the second half of the year, the output of GB200 and GB300 cabinets was high, and Honhai controlled more than half of the market share. The stock prices of its reinvested companies have risen sharply, including Industrial Fusion, Hongteng, and FIH, bringing Honhai's stock price back to 200 yuan, and its market value is expected to exceed $1,000 billion. Liu Yanggui actively communicates with legal persons and promotes investment in Kaohsiung, demonstrating governance and transparency that are different from the Terry Gou era, and Honhai is ushering in technological breakthroughs and new growth milestones. News highlights: former People's Party chairman Kei Wen's returned on bail of 7,000 yuan, and the party is concerned about its impact on the two-year clause, the 2026 local elections and the layout of blue-white cooperation. The current party chairman Huang Qiuaqing said he would welcome Kei's return and plan to sit down to discuss future strategies. Central Committee member Cai Biru emphasized that the party will operate in accordance with regulations, giving priority to Kei Wen's health, and denying the two sons issue, but Kei's role as a spiritual leader may still influence the party's decision-making and tacit cooperation. News highlights: curator Chen's Haihan recently broadcast a live public recall poll and was reported by former DPP lawmaker Wang Hao for violating the election and recall law, with a maximum fine of 100 yuan. The curator said that he would entrust a lawyer to handle it, and criticized the DPP as a cancer in Taiwan, threatening that when I make money, it will be the end of your DPP. He also revealed that he plans to promote cross-strait exchanges in the future, open a TV station and audio-visual platform, hoping to influence Taiwanese people to identify with Chinese identity in a subtle way, and at the same time personally support Kei Wen's to return home on bail, and prepare drinks to distribute to supporters. News highlights: although the restaurant chain Din Tai Fung has opened stores around the world, it has not yet entered Tainan, causing heated discussions. The Facebook fan page Playing Tainan with Passion lists 10 funny reasons, including Tainan's golden stores are mostly sold out by hand-cranked drinks and coffee shops, locals have strong dining habits and prefer local snacks, pork rib fried rice is not Taiwanese enough, and the CP value is low. The waiter shouted that he couldn't win the Tainan ant, the density of local brands and food is too high, and they even laugh at Tainan people for being cunning, and they are embarrassed to come in. The post resonated with netizens, who believed that the reason was close to local culture. News highlights: memory duo Nanya, 2408, and Winbond, 2344, continued last week's rally on the 8th, hitting the daily limit as soon as they opened. Nanya opened higher at 57.8 yuan, quickly locking in the daily limit of 58.3 yuan, with a trading volume of more than 4.6 thousand. Winbond also peaked at the daily limit of 24.8 yuan, with a trading volume of nearly 7,000. The legal person said that DRAM and NAND prices have continued to rebound since the bottom in the second quarter, and DDR4, DDR5 and HBM have led to a comprehensive recovery. News highlights: Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced his resignation as leader of the Liberal Democratic Party and Prime Minister on the 7th, triggering heated discussions in the election of the leader of the Liberal Democratic Party. The main candidates include the 64-year-old conservative Sani Takaichi, who will become the first female prime minister if elected, advocating fiscal expansion and opposing the Bank of Japan's interest rate hikes. The 44-year-old reformist Shinjiro Koizumi is expected to become the youngest prime minister and is famous for his rice price reduction action. 64-year-old Lin Fengzhang emphasized that the continuation of the existing policy will have little impact on the market. Political instability has also made the possibility of the Bank of Japan raising interest rates in October less. News highlights: in response to the damage caused by Typhoon Dinas, the Ministry of Environment requested large-scale photovoltaic projects with an installed capacity of more than 20 MW to propose disaster resistance and removal plans to ensure the legal disposal of discarded photovoltaic panels. The storm affected a total of 33 cases and about 12.1 photovoltaic panels, of which 3.2 can be reused, 5.6 are sent for treatment, and 3.3 are temporarily placed in legal sites. The Ministry of Environment will establish an interministerial photovoltaic overall inspection team to review large-scale project management, disaster resilience, and recovery mechanisms, and amend the law to include photovoltaic panels in recycling waste to strengthen green energy sustainability and responsibility chain management. News highlights U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent said he is confident that Trump's tariff policy will win in the Supreme Court, but if the ruling is unfavorable, about half of the tariffs imposed may have to be refunded, affecting up to $750 billion to $1 trillion, which will have a major impact on the Treasury Department. The Supreme Court could hear the case as early as November. The White House has developed a filing that if the policy is blocked, tariffs can be imposed on specific industries under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, but the tariffs on small parcels will not be affected. News highlights experts put forward 7 dietary principles to maintain brain health, such as fish, eggs, nuts, vegetables and fruits. 2. Choose nutrient-dense foods. Eggs, vegetables and fruits are the first choice. 3. Consume more fruits and vegetables, aiming for 10 servings per day. 4. Eat foods with a low glycemic index and control starch intake. 5. Consume good fats, such as avocados, olive oil, fish, and nuts. 6. Balanced protein, about 25-30 grams per meal. 7. Practice vigilant eating methods, eat slowly, eat until you are full, and make good use of leftovers to ensure that nutrients are not wasted. News highlights in Taiwan. The medication is based on the doctor's advice and the nature of the drug. Drugs that treat or delay diseases, such as antibiotics, high blood pressure, diabetes drugs, should be taken according to the course of treatment, and even if the symptoms are relieved, the drug should not be stopped on its own to avoid drug resistance or recurrence. Drugs that relieve symptoms, fever, cough relief, etc., can be stopped as soon as the symptoms disappear. If you forget to take medicine, you can decide whether to take it according to the principle of half of the medicine cycle. Drugs are divided into 3 levels. Prescription drugs must be prescribed by a doctor, instructions must be guided by a doctor or pharmacist, and over-the-counter drugs can be used according to the instructions. Overdose or prophylactic abuse is not advisable, and if symptoms continue to improve, you should seek medical attention. News highlights starting from January 1, 2026, Taiwan's family care leave can be taken on an hourly basis, with an annual total of 7 days, converted to 56 hours, which is closer to actual care needs. It is applicable to family members who need to take care of their family members, including family members or cohabiting partners stipulated in Article 1123 of the Civil Code, who need personal care due to illness, vaccination, or major accidents. The salary is equivalent to personal leave, and the employer shall not deduct the full attendance bonus or use it as an unfavorable factor in the assessment. In principle, applications must be submitted 5 days in advance, and in case of emergencies, applications can be made at least 1 day in advance, and the form of supporting documents is not limited. If you are rejected or made difficult, you can appeal to the Labor Authority. Recent statistics show that the leave rate for women with children under the age of 12 is 15.2%, while only 2.4% for men. News highlights Taiwan stocks opened high this morning and rushed to a record high of 24,729.96 points. TSMC's intraday high of 1,195 yuan approached the all-time high, and electronic weight stocks performed well. China cybersecurity soared nearly 40% on the listing, and CPO Silicon Photonics concept stocks were also active. Hon Hai fell slightly, Mediatek rose. Analysts believe that although the index hit a high, it lacked new benefits, and the subsequent rise was limited, and the trend of individual stocks was differentiated. At the same time, the U.S. non-farm payroll data was lower than expected, expectations of the Federal Reserve's interest rate cut increased, and the new Taiwan dollar rose to 30.475 yuan, and Taiwan stocks rose in tandem with the foreign exchange market. News highlights the United States raided the joint venture factory between Hyundai Motor and LG New Energy in Georgia on the 4th, detaining 475 people, including more than 300 suspected illegal workers of Korean nationality. The South Korean government said that it has completed the release negotiations and is expected to return to China by charter flight as soon as the 10th, and diplomats in the United States have visited the detainees and provided consular assistance. White House officials said that corporate immigration enforcement will be strengthened in the future, but this move has raised concerns in South Korea and some business groups, worried about affecting investment and industrial labor. News highlights studies have shown that common artificial sweeteners such as aspartame, saccharin, erythritol, etc., may prematurely age the brain by about 1.6 years and accelerate cognitive decline, with the most obvious impact on people under 60 years old and diabetics. Brazil followed more than 1.2 people and found that even low intake can affect brain function, which may be related to sweetener breakdown byproducts or cerebrovascular damage. Experts suggest replacing artificial sweeteners with natural sweeteners such as tag sugar, honey, or maple syrup to reduce brain health risks. News highlights a man surnamed Huang in Zhou, Zhonghua mistakenly believed in a false reward advertisement on Facebook in April this year, and after joining the Love Without Bounds, Warmth, and Boundless line group, he was deceived by being induced to invest 300 yuan in virtual currency. Huang Nan cooperated with the police to set up a bureau to arrest the driver surnamed Zhang and the monitors surnamed Su and Li. The Zhonghua District Court ruled that Zhang Nan was sentenced to 2 years and 3 months, Su Nan 1 year and 6 months, and Li Nan was sentenced to 1 year and 3 months in prison. News highlights this week, 9/7/13, the ghost moon fortune turned around, and the numerologist pointed out that the zodiac rabbit, snake, horse, rooster, and dog have the best fortune, and the luck of nobles, wealth, and career is all rising. Among them, rabbits and chickens sign on the lot, nobles help each other, and get twice the result with half the effort, snakes and dogs are auspicious, and office performance and turnaround are good, Ma Zhongping, wealth is gradually opening, and investment should be divided into batches. Other zodiac signs have medium or low fortunes, so it is recommended to keep it, wait patiently, and avoid acting impulsively. News highlights 38-year-old actor Cao Yanhao once attracted attention for Please Close Your Eyes When It's Dark, and was shortlisted for the Admiralty Best Supporting Actor and Actress for Sin Eater. Zhong Yao's relationship once attracted attention, but later broke up. Faded out of the entertainment industry 4 years later, he shared his baby's ultrasound photos on IG in the middle of the night today, 8th, announcing that he was about to be promoted to become a father. Cao Yanhao got married in a low-key manner at the end of 2023, and expressed his commitment to his wife on IG to return to the family business as the focus of his life. News highlights former People's Party chairman Kei Wen's was detained for 1 year in the Jinghua City case, and last Friday the court ruled to post bail of 70 million yuan, but Kei said that he still needs to think deeply and will make a decision after today's legal hearing. Political commentator Wu Jing'ai pointed out that Kei did not simply ask for bail, but used judicial procedures to create an image of a victim of political persecution, forced the Beijing prosecutor's office not to file a protest, and even made President Li Qiang fear him in turn, showing political planning, not because of fear of the justice. News highlights former People's Party chairman Kei Wen's was detained for 1 year for corruption, and the North Court ruled on the 5th that he should be released on bail of 7,000 yuan. On the one hand, it tests Kei's ability to raise money, and on the other hand, it can manipulate his political influence after he comes forward, and at the same time creates internal contradictions in the Kuomintang, which is the layout for the 2026 county mayoral election and the 2028 presidential election, showing that there is a far-reaching political intention behind the insurance policy. News highlights a fatal car accident occurred in Ayutthaya, Thailand in the early morning of the 6th, where a man drove an SUV and crashed into a telephone pole, causing serious damage to the car body. When the accident occurred, an emergency nurse stopped to assist in rescue, but was shocked to find that the driver was her boyfriend, and she collapsed and cried on the spot. Although the man was sent to the hospital for rescue, he died of his injuries, and the police initially investigated that the vehicle crashed into a telephone pole on the Central Divider Island, and the detailed cause is still to be clarified. News highlights an accident occurred yesterday morning in Tomsui District, New Taipei City, where a 70-year-old man surnamed Li was resting against a wooden fence by the stream while participating in the 99 Sports for All hiking activity. When the police arrived at the scene, they found that Li Nan had no signs of life and was sent to the hospital for rescue but still died of his injuries. The police are investigating the cause of the fence breakage and the attribution of responsibility. News highlights Typhoon Taba moved north, and its outer circulation brought abundant moisture to Taiwan, and the weather in Taiwan today, 8th, and tomorrow, 9th, will be unstable and rainy. Meteorological experts pointed out that the rain in Hualien, Taitung, Kaohsiung, Pingtung, and Hengchun Peninsula is the most severe in the windward area, and local heavy thunderstorms may also occur in other mountainous areas and near the mountains and plains. On Wednesday, 10th, as the Pacific high pressure intensifies, the wind direction will change to southeast to easterly winds, the rain will decrease, and the local afternoon thunderstorm pattern in the mountains will resume. News highlights actress Zhang Zuping recently accused Gong Yiding, the son of Sanli Senior Vice President Gong Maifu, of suspected of drugging and sexually assaulting and secretly filming, which aroused social concern and made the Me Too issue discussed again. In this regard, the erotic leader Sprite, Fang Qiwan, blew herself up and was forced by a man who pursued her. Sprite appealed that girls should be respected if they say no, emphasizing that going does not mean consent, overlords are sexual assault, reminding women to protect themselves, and also calling on men to respect women's wishes. News highlights after being cheated on by actress Su Lisha, mainland actor Su Kai was revealed by the well-known paparazzi Bai Xiaosheng who can shoot for a long time to gather crowds to gamble. It is said that he held private card games many times in his Hengdian mansion, winning and losing tens of thousands of yuan each time, and the cumulative amount may be millions a year. Some of the gambling money was even transferred through his girlfriend. The paparazzi also exposed a video of Su Kai smoking and playing cards while filming in Qingdao in 2023, saying that he is already a casino veteran. Article 303 of China's criminal law stipulates that gathering crowds to gamble is punishable by fixed-term imprisonment of up to 3 years and a fine. News highlights: this week's horoscope is influenced by the Sun and Saturn. Saturn retrograde Pisces, the Sun is in Virgo. The social focus falls on the physical, mental, spiritual, and vulnerable issues. The Me Too event may attract attention again. The Tianhai and Ming-Ming triangle continues to ferment social vibrations. Horoscope: Aries needs to implement the vision, and the relationship is easy to card. Taurus must break through in the face of obstacles, and beware of fatal attraction in feelings. Scorpio is soft and powerful, and his feelings are one step back. Aquarius keeps an eye on the partner and is prone to disputes. Virgins have good overseas luck, and emotional travel is a plus. Libra pays attention to subordinates in the workplace, and talks less about feelings and makes fewer mistakes. Capricorn has a stable job and can add surprises to your relationship. Pisces wins surprisingly at work, and feelings are interesting. Gemini has strong cooperation with professionals, and the relationship is cold and charming. Cancer has good work inspiration and meets a sharp strong woman in a relationship. Lions work smoothly and their feelings are affected by their families. Sagittarius has a chance for promotion, and feelings are proven by actions. News highlights: Ai Yongqing, a senior British media person, recently posted an article revealing that he was a senior executive of the public English language media Taiwan Plus, and decided to resign and return to the UK with his family because he witnessed the news editor being politically interfered, the report being improperly replaced, and the extreme remarks caused by the general recall. He pointed out that since its establishment in 2021, Taiwan Plus has been positioned as Taiwan's foreign English voice platform, operated by public television and funded by the public television budget, aiming to let the world understand Taiwan's perspective and cooperate with the 2030 bilingual national policy. However, Taiwan Plus has also been questioned for its high funding and low effectiveness over the years, and has caused political turmoil due to its coverage of the US presidential election controversy, indicating that the platform is not immune to political interference and controversy. News highlights: Kuomintang legislator Su Kioxin led a delegation to the Czech Republic a few days ago and happened to meet DPP legislator Wang Yushuan and senior media person Zheng Hongyi, which sparked heated discussions among netizens. She posted beautiful travel photos on the community, wearing casual clothes with denim wide pants, which attracted more than 5,600 likes. Regarding the cost of going abroad, Su Kioxin emphasized that travel is to spend your own money, and official itineraries are supported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. During the trip, she interacted with Wang Yushuan at the airport and took a photo with Zheng Hongyi, and shared a funny photo with the supermarket doll Jiabol Miao. News highlights: a wanted criminal surnamed Luo in Kaohsiung was shot and killed by a gunman 16 times while walking his dog in front of his sky-high mansion on the 22nd of last month. Although the police arrested accomplices suspected of purchasing BMW rights cars, many major shootings in Taiwan in recent years have involved rights cars, including the murder of black people in Dawen Corner Head and Lin Shijia, chairman of the Tainan District Fishermen's Association. The so-called right car is a vehicle that has not yet been transferred and the loan has not been paid off, and is resold privately at a low price, with complex management laws and lack of horizontal connection, making it time-consuming for the police to track down users, becoming a convenient tool for gangsters to commit crimes, and also causing public security concerns throughout Taiwan. News highlights: according to the latest statistics from the Controller General's office, as of the end of June this year, the hidden liabilities of governments at all levels reached 20.5076 trillion yuan, of which labor insurance accounted for 13.5632 trillion yuan, an increase of about 1.7 trillion yuan from last year. The declining birth rate, aging population, and public concerns about bankruptcy have led to an increase in the number of claimants, causing potential liabilities to continue to rise. The Ministry of Labor pointed out that the government's continuous subsidies and diversified investments have extended the negative period of the labor insurance fund from 2028 to 2031, but the hidden debt still causes financial pressure on the next generation. News highlights: the domestic drug has the same ingredients, dosage, and dosage form as the original imported drug, and has passed bioequivalence tests, and the quality meets international standards, and the health insurance benefit remains unchanged at 13 yuan per pill. The annual dosage of Onum is about 358 capsules, mainly used for patients with moderate to severe cancer and chronic pain, and the domestic drug will be supplied in the fourth quarter of this year after the original drug is sold out to ensure uninterrupted clinical pain relief. News highlights: Sanli TV confirmed on the evening of the 7th that Senior Vice President Gong Meifu has voluntarily resigned and been approved due to his son Gong Yiting's involvement in the sexual assault case. The incident stemmed from artist Zhang Zuping's accusation that Gong Yiting drugged and sexually assaulted him and secretly filmed him, which aroused social concern. Gong Yiting denied the accusations, saying that the two parties had been dating for nearly a year and broke up on August 31. Gong Meifu said that the incident affected the company and social resources, and he felt deeply guilty, decided to resign and take responsibility, and emphasized that his son's case would be handed over to the judiciary to restore the truth. News highlights: actress Yang Chen-xi recently revealed on social platforms that the electricity bill in this period is as high as NT $9,829, which made her shout, "I really want to cry when I see this electricity bill," which aroused heated discussions among netizens. Many people were shocked by the amount, and some people shared their experience with higher electricity bills. In the hot summer, Taipower recommends adjusting the air conditioner temperature to 26 to 28 degrees with a circulation fan, regularly cleaning the filter and using the sleep timer function to save energy and electricity. News highlights: 53-year-old actor Jang Junhan has performed in Golden Years, Glory of Love and other 8 o'clock stalls, and was hospitalized for cellulitis caused by pustule squeezing in July this year. He revealed that although he has not filmed a traditional TV series this year, he has returned to the industry to compose songs, shoot short dramas, and plan to perform stage plays in October and November. Jang Junhan said that this year is a low point in life, but it also makes him rethink the future and add more determination and courage to face life. News highlights: former People's Party chairman Kei Wenz was detained for nearly a year in the Jinghua City and political donation case, and the Taipei District Court ruled on the 5th to post bail of 7,000 yuan. After meeting with the lawyer today, 8th, Kei confirmed that he agreed to go home on bail. Huang Qiuqing immediately said on Facebook that he was ready to take over KP, which sparked discussion about the dual-core era of the People's Party. The news of the bail has excited supporters and raised concerns about whether Huang Qiuqing will give way. The police dispatched 40 police officers to maintain order at the scene. News highlights: a tragedy occurred in the village of Surajapur, Uttar Pradesh, India, where a 2-month-old baby boy went missing at home, and his body was found in a bucket after a search. The police's preliminary investigation suspected that the monkeys were involved and may have taken the baby away and abandoned it, and the specific cause of death is still to be clarified by autopsy. Local residents said that the monkeys had been disturbed for a long time and called on the government to strengthen precautions to prevent similar tragedies from happening again. This is not the first time such an incident has occurred in India, with a case in 2022 where a baby was mistakenly taken to death by a monkey.